Well, here we are again. Season 2 Lawless is now finally coming to an end. Despite the season being a little bit shorter than the previous ones, it's still time to break down each element of the season, and those elements are as follows: the map changes, battle pass, loot pool, story, extra modes and LTMs, and of course finally, the events. Anyways, yeah, you guys get the idea. So without further ado, let's get into it. Like the start of any other season, this one brought out some huge map changes right at the start, with a good chunk of the map being placed with this weird hilly valley-like space themed around gold, with 4 giant nice new POIs surrounded by the stuff. There is Outlaw Oasis, a high-end luxury resort, shiny shafts, Fletcher Kane's very own gold mine, Noble Flair being basically lavish lair on steroids, and finally the big name of the season, Crime City, a bustling underground for all things corrupt. This time round though, all POIs for once actually feel unique and different. No two spots feel the same in either, which was one of my biggest complaints for season 1. There was another giant map change that I made right from the start. Of course that is the black markets hidden around the map. In other words, these are the places where you get your bullshit powerful weapons from. Unless it's the mythic and exotic version of the Outlaw. That thing sucks. And there are 3 black markets placed around the map. One's in Magic Mosses, another near Crime City, and finally another north of Mass Meadows. Now, other than being a huge access point for all the new exciting exotics and mythics, they also solve a problem that is still on the map. Nowadays, with the introduction of a brand new season, there's always new bosses that spawn around the map. Now, for the big case in last season, Shogun X is still on the map, but now only spawns on the Loot Island like a fourth of the way through the match. He still used to spawn around the actual map, including at Lost in Magic. Now, this problem has been solved because now there's a black market there, but as for Demon's Dojo, where the Night Rose spawned in previously, there is now nothing here, giving you literally no reason to go there unless you're forced to. For being what was such an important part of the story at one point, it's so bare and boring now with literally nothing to do. But don't forget, there was also the map changes with all the Mortal Kombat stages around the map, which literally no one asked for. I am still in denial over Sub-Zero being the tier 100 in the Battle Pass. Speaking of which, easily the worst battle pass in recent memory. I think it's safe to say that Joss is the standout new clean skin of the season. Not to mention the also brand new Outlaw Midas, who is now a cowboy for some reason. As for the other skins, well, where the fuck do I even start? Cassidy Quinn is fine as a tier 1 skin, but not much more than that. I mean, yeah, it's fine I guess, but really nothing too exciting. Better than last season's tier 1 at least. Keisha Cross is a fine skin I guess, but all it boils down to is just being a boring generic biker girl. And then there's Fletcher Kane, who actually stands out, but in all the wrong ways. His concept in itself isn't horrible, but it just boils down to the way he's actually designed. Either way, he should have been the tier 100 of the season, just for being the new big villain. The fact that Sub-Zero is the tier 100 instead is sickening. This is like if in Wrecked, instead of Megalodon being the tier 100, he was at tier 35, and Magneto was the tier 100 skin. Makes literally no sense. But like I said, the new Midas is really one of the standouts of the pass, with a brand new look which really makes him look like a white boy in the hood. His second style really does make up for it though. Valentina also takes the award of being the most generic skin of the entire chapter. It's literally just a girl in shorts and a sweater. Could they really come up with anything else? And then there is Big Dill, and as someone who's all for meme skins, I really did not care about this guy.
I mean, yeah, he's fun as a character and all, but after the launch hype died down, no one seems to care about the guy anymore, and that's including me. A battle pass nowadays is never complete without a good meme skin, but for the character he is, his design still leaves a lot to be desired. All in all, if this is a battle pass he missed out on and decide to skip, I wouldn't be worrying too much.
Probably the biggest improvement from last season. Season 2 had a lot of the same problems but with its loophole in the same vein as Season 1, but dialed down by a massive amount. For starters, there's the assault rifles. The Fury AR was vaulted at the start of the season and was replaced by a new version of the AUG, now using a newer model and having an adjustable scope. The Hollow Twister is still the king of the loot pool, and since the big mid-season update, the Twin Mag AR finally made a return after 2 years. And then there is the Collateral Damage AR, the high spread AR of the season. Everyone I seem to talk to about it loves this weapon, and I don't get it. I mean, yeah, the fire rate's brilliant on it and the damage is good, but at the same time, the amount of spread it has, it might as well be classed as an SMG. Speaking of SMGs, talk about a limited selection of them. Same as the Fury, the Surge Fire was vaulted at the start of the season. For some reason, the Velvet Precision SMG was left as the only option for an SMG for the first half of the damn season. But don't worry guys, the Scope Burst SMG from Chapter 4 Season 4 finally came back. Too bad the scope broke as soon as it did come back. Not to mention, when the scope actually did work, it had a disgusting amount of kick to it. The amount of recoil was insane. I'm just going to chuck the pump and nub in here too. One of the most unique weapons we've ever had, but that doesn't mean it's good. This thing does literally no damage, and the shotgun on it is terrible. The SMG hits like a baby. The only saving grace of this weapon is the exotic, which gives out hot rock. There's a reason why whenever you go into a vault and see it, the mythic one's always still sat there. Speaking about shotguns, let's talk boring. The only shotgun was unsurprisingly vaulted at the start of the season, leaving the Sentinel and the Twinfire to be the only option for some time. It did seem like the Twinfire was buffed though, at least it's not as unbelievably awful as it used to be. Later on though, the previously mentioned Outlaw shotgun came out, and that's all that needs saying there. The Infiltrator pump also came back in the mid-season update, and actually became my main shotgun of the season. Not to mention the huge buff that it had when it finally came back. I mean, I loved the thing anyway, but after that there was no other options. Close range fights have mostly gone back to what they were before, and then the bat came out. The thing is though, I love the bat. It's become more of a special use item and there's now more back on the side of mobility. This is supposed to be how you do a melee weapon. Please take notes, Epic. Hitting people in the face with it is still really funny though. Now, believe it or not, there's actually original snipers this season. Crazy, I know. Unless you count the exotics, there was one new sniper out of this season, and that is the Falcon Eye Sniper. And if you can't hit a headshot with it, it's useless. I mean, what sniper is hitting for 79 body shot? I mean, yeah, the semi-auto, maybe. This thing is supposed to be like a bolt. If anything, it's more like a fucking DMR with a stingy mag size. I'd rather take the Huntress from last chapter ended over this thing. The exotic snipers though are really where it's at. The exotic heavy impact sniper is incredible and is what all snipers should strive to be. I mean, recon, fast bullet speed, and no drop, the thing's perfect. Not to mention also the stink rifle, which is also really good in its own way, having amazing utility aspects. There's also a ton of other exotics which I don't even have time to go over, but just to name a couple, there's the Trinity Rifle, the Accelerant Hollow Twister, the Shockwave Rocket Launcher, and finally the Explosive Mammoth Pistol. And finally, I could also just say again that the pistols were fine, but how the fuck could I do that when the Mammoth Pistol is back? Arguably my favourite gun in the entire game, and now there's a mythic one too? Oh my god. So yeah, overall the loot pool at the start of the season was kinda mid, but by the end, it has become one of my favourite loot pools we've had in recent times. And now it's time to talk about the story, and yep, we're complaining again.
Never before have I been so disappointed by this game's story, until this season. For a quick recap, after the mini-event of last season, Midas has made his grand return in an effort to stop Fletcher Kane from taking over the island. And in that effort, makes an alliance with Hope and Jones for the first time. And that was it for like half the season. That is, until we learn that Daigo's been secretly working with Fletcher Kane in an effort to get to the Spirit Realm. And now that's it. That's all we got for 2.5 months. The story of this season has just been so mindless and boring, it just feels like the most generic thing on the planet. It just feels like there's no care to it at all, and none of that flair that Fortnite once had. And it's so strange as well, for having the story director that we do, of course that being Charlie Wen, and having a whole team of other writers behind him, the story really needs to be better than it is, because at this point, there's just nothing to it. Like, why on earth would anyone care?
The story is by far the worst aspect of the season, with no questions about it really. I mean, yeah, last season's story was just bland and boring, but this season's, there practically is none. But by the looks of it, hopes are high for the story next season, but then again, that goes for every single collab season.
The extra modes have been heavily developed since the start of this season, and for once, maybe they're actually good. For starters, OG Season 3 has been an absolute blast, with this updated map and the guided missile finally being back in the game. Now that's not to say the OG pass is good, because it really isn't. Ballistic has finally had its first big update as well, with new test maps and weapons being added to the game after 4 months of almost nothing. God, Fortnite really need to update that mode more. Fortnite Festival has also had a new season, with popstar Sabrina Carpenter giving us some of the most masculine emotes in this entire game. Also, the new feature where your skins act as the extra character on stage is really funny. I mean, who doesn't want to play Fireworks by Katy Perry with Miles Morales on bass? We've also had 2 LTMs return this season, and those being 50v50, and my favourite mode of the season, the Getaway. As someone who never played the Getaway when it came out, I had a blast with it and I'm really hoping it returns sometime in the future. Also, not to mention that apparently now everything needs a ranked mode, because ranked the Getaway 0 build was a thing. Apparently this should be noted down as the most important thing in the history books. I've got a few people telling me that. You know who you are.
As for 50v50 though, it was fine, I guess.
Reload also had its huge Slurp Rush update, with a new map and loot pool crank arguably the best experience I've had in the entire chapter so far.
Oh, but I hear you asking, what happened to LEGO Fortnite and Rocket Racing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, fucking hell, where do I even start? I guess it was half-assed Easter event. With the event being how early it was, it seems like it wasn't actually supposed to be the real Easter event. But you know what? It's all we got, so fuck it. That's what we're going off of. Yep, this is the Easter event. Got a free skin at least. It really wasn't much of an event. We didn't even get any new items in Battle Royale. All we got was some quests and I don't know, whatever this thing is. And then there's the mini event that's going on at the end of the season. I don't really have much to say on the event because it hasn't even happened yet, but please be good. If I get full pieced by Jar Jar Binks next season, I hope you know I will not be happy. And there we have it. Season 2 is finally over. I'm overall mixed with my thoughts on the season alone and compared to other seasons. Now don't get me wrong, highs of the season were up there, some of the best fun I've ever had in this game. But the other problems, they were too much for me in ways. Why was there no story? Why was the Battle Pass forgotten about in like a week? And why was the spring event so complete dog shit? I couldn't tell you. But fingers crossed for next season, and I hope to see you there.